And then we are ready. We are ready for the great experience of all. It's our grand female finale. And actually, female, I don't know, female, it's very like important, solid. When I'm looking at Sargam, she's like this magical fair for my like female. I actually was thinking, how should I say it? Girl, lady, female. But now we actually trio. I didn't know. Sargam, she will show our partner there. It's Heidi, her baby pet there. So we
That's
actually
Heidi.
three of us. Yeah, so it's big grand premiere. Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome to Diversity is the Game Changer. I'm your host, Valeriya Hjertenæs, as you know, and your guide through today's enlightening conversation. And our episode, titled The Grand Female Premiere, features a truly remarkable and incredible, inspiring guest, and my very good friend, good son, no, one of my best friends, actually.
Oh,
Yes, Mrs. Sargam Koushal, the reigning queen last year, but for me, all the years. And Mrs. World, 2022, 2023, Sargam. And Sargam's journey from being a school teacher to earning the Mrs. World crown after a 21-year break for India is nothing short of remarkable. Beyond her pageant success, she is a dedicated advocate for human rights and gender equality and has shared her insights as a TED speaker. Today, we will be diving into your experiences, your advocacy work, and your vision for women's empowerment and opportunities. Welcome, Sargam.
thank you so much for this beautiful introduction, Valeria. I love you and I'm so glad to see you again.
Yes, me too. I hope soon we sit and do it. Yes, more
Yeah.
with a lot. But then we'll be disturbing with a lot of hugging and we
Yes, a lot of
like
hugging, a
remember
lot of just
I was carrying you on my back.
carrying me on your back. Yes.
It was
I
very
still
very
have that picture. Oh my God. It was like it's one of my favorite pictures from Mrs. World. So
yes.
I still got it on my phone.
Yeah. So you see, I have a lucky back probably because I was carrying you as my on my wings. That probably helped a little bit to your crown. Who knows? Okay. But anyway, thank you so much again for being with us, and it's a remarkable honor to host you as my very first lady guest. And of course, I'm so delightful to have opportunity to discuss many important topics. And let's start from the beginning about little girl. I know the story. Many people around the world want the story, but I would like even more people will be inspired by your story. And Sargam, your path to becoming Mrs. World is truly inspiring. You began as a school teacher, and despite facing challenges in the childhood like bullying, body shaming during your school days, prejudice, and many more, you have managed with grace to achieve this incredibly important and rewarding global title. Could you please share more about this journey and the obstacles you have to overcome along the whole way?
So, yeah, this question actually takes me back so many years because, when I was, when I was born, I was like the first girl child in my whole family. So I was loved like anything, like my parents, my grandparents. And in India, to have a girl child is still, if not now, but in the 90s, it was still considered to be something which was probably looked down upon. Like they would first want a boy child and
Mm,
then a girl child. But and my grandparents are very orthodox, but still having me as the first grandchild, they were the happiest. The happiest. I still remember my grandmother loving the heck out of me, and she used to be with me all the time, buy me things and just goodies and gifts every single day. I was just loved and pampered, and I was a pretty beautiful looking child as well. But
I
then,
believe so.
thanks to my mom though, she is beautiful. So and then kind of when puberty hits you, when you start growing up and you go to school, a lot of things change. Your body changes, and because of the sun in India, you tend to get darker in your school days because you're always tanned and always running around in the playground. So I started to kind of look little like a little boy in my school days, and I had this weird haircut, like a very weird haircut. If you've seen this this cartoon on Cartoon Network, Dexter's Laboratory, there was a character in that called Mandark. My haircut was exactly like Mandark. So,
Okay.
you know, people kind of, kids made fun of the haircut, kids made fun of how thin I was. And I did make friends. I, of course, made friends in school, but none of them really lasted for a long time because I don't know, they grew out of friendship with me, or I grew out of friendship with them. And I think the when you talk about bullying, the actual bullying kind of happened when I was um, like 16, 17 years old. I remember this one particular incident when I was performing on a stage. I was in college and I was performing on stage, and somebody called me a cigarette. And they were sitting in the audience and they shouted really loudly, like, cigarette, cigarette. And I didn't hear it because the music was too loud. But somebody came backstage and said, Sargam, they were saying these things to you. And it felt really bad because, I was there enjoying my moment on stage, and these boys in the audience were just trying to be bullies. And well, so this was like one particular incident. There were many such incidents where I felt that, when I go out shopping, as a teenager, when I used to go out shopping, and I used to look for clothes for myself in the women's section, they used to always tell me, go to the kids section because your size is not available here. And I used to feel so bad, like, come on, give me a chance at least. But I think I never really let it affect me very, very badly, except for one moment where I remember. Um, I think I was 20, 21 years or 20 years old, and I was, I think, going through a very bad time hormonally, I guess, because I was losing weight, and I think I had developed a thyroid condition too. So I went to see the doctor, and I said, please, can you give me something so that I can gain weight? Because I try to eat, but I can only eat as much as my body allows me to eat. So give me something so that, I start gaining weight. And he said, so he gave me this medicine. I don't remember the name of this medicine, but when I ate that medicine, so its side effect was it made you dizzy throughout the day. So you would sleep, I would sleep throughout the day, and whenever I used to wake up, I used to feel hungry. So I ate, I slept, I ate, I slept. I could not study, I could not go out with friends. I was always so tired and always drowsy. I couldn't drive. I couldn't do regular things like a regular girl my age. So then my mom said that, you are not having this medicine again. You're never going to eat this again. Forget about what your friends say. Forget about what people say. Forget about what relatives say. If they call you thin, I don't care. I want my daughter to be healthy. She said, so my parents themselves were very thin when they were growing up. So they said it's just your genes. So, and when you will grow up, you will grow out of this phase. So you don't have to worry about people's opinion. So thankfully, for me, my parents have been this support system that I never felt let down by my parents. I always felt like they were my biggest cheerleaders before I got married. And even now, of course, because, of course, now I have my husband as well joining the team. But my parents, my brother, the close family and friends that I had, they were my real cheerleaders. And I think that is what is somehow I feel that is missing in a lot of families when it comes to women in India. Because that's something that I really wish more parents did, support their girls' dreams, and support them, like whatever they do in life, just be their support system, be there to guide them, but never bully them. Uh, and I've seen in many families in India, and I think in all across the world, I've seen people bully their own children. And that's really sad, but thankfully I had a good childhood that way. I always used to come home to love and care. So
Mm.
that kind of made, I think that's the reason I only want to give love to the people and to my friends who I meet. So yeah, that was about my childhood.
Adorable. Thank you so much for so profound answer. And actually, I immensely appreciate sharing your strong story because I can relate very much myself. Growing up, I also have faced significant challenges, and also including bullying, and actually was body shaming for being too tall. I was
Oh, yes.
always tall, and I was ashamed of that, and I tried always to hide it, and I was working like that, and also, oh my god,
Yeah.
so my nicknames I've got, and of course all that affected badly my self-esteem. But however, luckily for me, my mom, like you said, from this in the same year like your beloved family. So my mom, she always showed unwavering support to me and always embraced all my determination to pursue my dreams. So exactly like you, I didn't have a father who was participating in my childhood, and it also a very traumatic experience. But my mom, she did double, really double, and I'm so grateful today that I'm so blessed to be sent from God, the mother which I have, which is still my very best friend. And those my journey like yours, like it was filled with numerous barriers and hurdles, but each challenge strengthened me even more. My resolve became even harder, but not
Yeah.
harder. I didn't become harder like you said. If you actually growing up surrounded by so much love, how then possible can be you want to give something which is anti love? Because of course you're radiating love around you, right? Because if you have got pain, maybe you don't know how to actually produce love, then you probably also share the pain. But if you are really every day like really bathing with love, you want everybody the same feeling, right? So
Absolutely. And here I want to also add that, in many families in India, I've seen this thing that father, even though the father is present physically in the family, they always are the head of the family. But
mhm,
I've never seen them, like most families, I've not seen the men participate in bringing up the child very much.
mhm,
They will not spend as much time with their kids, or they will not play with them, they will not sit and have dinner with them, or maybe feed their kids themselves. But my dad, oh my god, I remember he used to take care of me more than my mom. I sometimes feel that I was closer to my dad growing up. Now I'm closer to my mom, of course. I think that kind of shifts a lot when you grow up. But my dad really used to take such good care of me. He used to bathe me, he used to feed me, he used to buy clothes for me, he used to take me out shopping for clothes, and he used to drive me everywhere. So that and every night, and I still remember this, every night when I was growing up, he used to lie down next to me and sing me a lullaby, and then I used to go to
oh,
sleep. So, you know, exactly what you said, that when you grow up in so much love, surrounded by such lovely souls, it is very difficult. I think it is impossible for you to give anything else in return but love to the people that you meet in life. So we got lucky that way, thankfully.
yes, absolutely, I'm so happy. And now I would like to go smoothly to this love, and love which we can get in our family and relatives, but um, not many people can experience that to be so like you and me. And then it's nice that like people like you and me, we can leverage our platforms for
Yeah.
spreading much love and even advocacy for more human rights and gender equality, because we all know that somehow in many countries still it's strange belief that men and boys like you started, they are worth much love and respect than girls, even from the really one from the day they are born. So I would like now to talk about your tremendous TED Talk, which I loved so much. And even this morning, when my daughter, she was styling me, I was still like sleeping. And first we meditate together with Deepak Chopra from India. And then then we talked, then we again heard about your TED Talk. Now, Nicole, Nicole, my daughter, you are really, really icon for her. She loves you so much. And so she can hear your TED Talk like continuously. And so I would like your advocacy for human rights and gender equality is commendable. In your TED Talk, The Story of Modern Bahu, you discuss breaking stereotypes and empowering women. Would you elaborate on your work in this area and message you aim to convey through the talk, but also through the other platforms? But before that, the other day we have already discussed, and I was asking you about this Indian words, which I didn't know the translation. And you told me Bahut means daughter-in-law, right? Yes. But today actually I have discovered that it probably related to the first question, but that by getting so much support from your family, they taught you very early special mantra in Indian. It's 3 sentences which you were talking about them on the stage.
Yeah.
But we didn't have subtitles on TED Talk.
Okay, so I'll tell you that. So
Okay.
it's a mantra. It's a mantra for everybody to remember. I think I know it in Hindi because we generally use that phrase in Hindi. It's like लोग क्या कहेंगे ये भी तुम ही सोचोगे तो लोग क्या सोचेंगे.
Yeah.
और लोग क्या सोचेंगे ये भी तुम ही सोचोगे तो लोग क्या सोचेंगे. So it loosely translates to if you only are going to think of what people are going to think, then what will people think? Do you understand that? So it's like if you are going to do the work of, if you're going to do the thinking work for people of what they are thinking of you, then who's going to do their work?
Job, right? Exactly. It's their,
so like, let them do their work, let them do their thinking, let them be, and you be yourself. Don't do their thinking, don't do their thinking for them. Okay. You don't have to do that. You do your own thinking, you keep your calm, you keep composed, you keep rocking the world, and let them do the thinking.
Okay, you did. So, okay, perfect. Now I know I need afterwards you should write to me and we can practice on pronunciation.
Yes, you can. So maybe you can say it in Hindi to those people who you might not want to.
Oh, just in my brain, like
just to remember it.
Your job, this is my job. Okay.
Yes, you do you, and we do us.
Yeah, you do you, I do me. Yeah. So, but where we are, if we are talking exactly about the message, we have delivered brilliantly and inspired, I'm sure, so many girls, especially probably in India, to pursue their dreams. Yes. So, and you have been already discussing about stereotypes and you got a lot of support from family, but could you elaborate a little bit again, probably the obstacles which we all women still face in our world, how we should do us, like, still don't take a lot from the audience. And I mean, like, it will be always, like you said in your TED Talk, it will be always 2 types of people: somebody who will support you, and always people who will going to tell something, right? Because it's easier to judge than to think and do something. It's much easier to judge. It has always been like that.
Yeah. So exactly. So let's start with the fact that we always need to remember that we came to this earth with a purpose. Every human body, every human soul that has entered this planet has come here for a purpose. And it's okay. Some want to be a housewife, fine. Some want to just be homemakers, amazing. Some don't want to do anything, just chill in life, okay. But I think everybody, be it a man or a woman or any gender for that matter, every person should get a choice to decide if they want to do something in life or they don't want to do something in life. If I want to wear a plunge neck or I don't want to wear a plunge neck should be my choice, not somebody else's choice, not a man's choice. It should not be a thumb rule for everybody. So men in our society, and I think in the whole world, have enjoyed their rights since ages.
Yeah.
Whatever they wanted to wear, whatever they wanted to do, whoever they wanted to become in life, they were allowed to do that. They had a choice to do things in life, barring some factors wherein, for example, people will say, some men will say that we didn't want to be drafted in the military, but we had to. We didn't have a choice. But the laws were made by men. Those laws were again made by men. Women had no part in that. So maybe if women had a part in that, women would have said that, okay, one boy and one girl from a family will go in the military. But no, that was not the case. So okay, fine. So that's what I think, that every person should have a choice to pursue their purpose, and nobody should be allowed to take that away from them. If my parents would have taken my choice away from me, I wouldn't have been sitting here. You wouldn't have been sitting here conducting this podcast. We wouldn't have been the women that we are today. So, and for especially for countries like India, for countries like these Southeast Asian countries where still the male dominance in the family and in the society is so much that the patriarchy, the system of patriarchy that is there in the society, it is so prevalent that we still have to kind of wiggle our way through um, to the top. And especially for our communities and our countries, it is very important for parents to bring up and to raise daughters exactly, if not exactly, but as equally as they raise their sons. I'm not saying that I want to be out and about all night and party all night and come back home drunk. No, I don't want to do that. But at least give me the choice to make a decision, and at least trust me enough to believe that my daughter, who I have raised, is going to come back home safe because I have raised my daughter right. So raise your children right and see them taking good decisions in life. You can help them take great decisions. You can try to amend them if they are wrong, but do not stop them from growing. Do not stop them from experiencing. What I've seen these days with the Gen Z parents and with all these new age parenting techniques, soft parenting as they call it, when we were growing up, we used to get a handful from our parents. And though I don't advocate getting beaten up by your parents, but I also don't really believe in the kind of soft parenting that parents do these days, because there needs to be a control. You have to amend your children. You have to give them a certain there
Bond.
should be there should be a condition. Yes, you have to scold them when they are wrong. that's
Yeah.
that's completely all right. And you just can't let them be. So be parents, be good parents, be considerate parents, be strong parents when needed. And I think that's how our society is going to flourish. um, yeah, and what else can I say? I mean, there's so much to this. Talking about parenting, talking about children growing up, especially when you talk about my advocacy, and even in the TED talk when I was speaking, I felt there are so many different places that need work in women's lives, because gender equality, even today I was just talking to my husband about this, that people have people think that feminism is a bad word.
Yeah.
People
Extremely.
treat it so badly these days, because at the end of the day, we are just asking to be given a choice. That's it. Is it so hard to um, give a choice to a woman? Do you think that we are so dumb, or we don't have brain, we don't have any cerebral capacity to make right decisions for ourselves? That's all we want. We do not want to be equal to men. We do not want to take over your jobs. We do not want to annihilate all men and, come out emerging as the strongest woman in the world. No, that's not what we want. We just want to be given the same choices, the same treatment that you've been getting
all the time
through these generations. That's all. And I don't think that should be so difficult. I see countries like Iran, I see things that are happening in Afghanistan, and my heart goes out to these women that recently I think there was a law that was passed in Afghanistan where women now who are working in hospitals as nurses and doctors cannot practice anymore because it's not allowed. And they cannot go out without a man. They cannot listen to music. They cannot. There is a list of the things that they cannot do, and such little things that they actually can do, and that too only with the permission of a man, which is so sad. Because why then give life to a girl when you're not letting her bloom into a woman, when you're not letting her bloom into a fully grown person who can think, who can act, who can who can take control of their life. So it's just sad, and I really hope, this one thing that I really like to talk about again and again is when I won Mrs. World. Many parents came to meet me with their kids, and all these parents were from these lower middle class families who never really knew what a beauty pageant was. So they used to come and they used to ask their daughters to come sit with me and have a chat. And they used to tell them, go ask Sargam auntie, go ask her how did she become Mrs. World, and you also can do it. And I said, listen, you don't have to become Mrs. World. That's not the end goal. The empowerment is so different for people in different economical stratas. So for a city girl like me, maybe becoming Mrs. World was a great dream. That is empowerment for me. But for a girl living in a village, probably to have her own bank account would be
right,
empowerment. To
right.
be able to sign her name in English would be empowerment. To be able to own a beauty salon or a sewing machine to make her ends meet, that would be empowerment. So empowerment means differently for different women. And also, a very, very important thing I would like to say here that, this feminism of choice that we say, there are, so when we say giving a choice is important, giving a choice to women is important, it is also important to know how to exercise that choice. Now, I've seen, for example, with, and I think it is a very controversial topic for many countries, but I still uh, say this again and again. I use this topic again and again. And it is about, it's just an example of, let's say, the hijab uh, controversy. That should it be allowed or should it not be allowed? A lot of women say it is a choice. It should be a choice if I want to wear hijab, if I don't want to wear hijab. Amazing. Absolutely understood, because you should have a choice. But imagine coming from a far off village in Afghanistan. Did that girl ever have a choice? No. She was never given that choice, because when she grew up, when she was like 6, 7 years old, this hijab was introduced in her life. These women who say hijab is a choice, these are those women who are sitting in very lavish lifestyles, very luxurious lifestyles in the society, and they are empowered women. To be empowered and to choose hijab is amazing. You can do that because you have a choice. But when you are in the downtrodden parts of the society, then you don't get that choice. So I think the women who are sitting in these economically great areas, they should be the ones to say that hijab is something that should be banned all across the world. Because if it is banned in one great country or in a large community, it will help those girls who don't have that choice. It will help those girls see the world, with more clarity. And I don't know how to say this to a lot of people, because people do not take it the right way. People always think that, oh, on one hand you're talking about choice, and on the other hand you're saying, oh, with hijab you should not have a choice. So there's a lot of controversy when it comes to these topics, and I hope these conversations come out, people talk about it more, so that they know what women are going through. Men do not have to go through all of these troubles, I think, when it comes to their clothes, when it comes to how their body looks, when it comes to how their face looks. Um, and this world is really, it's not such a wonderful place if you see it in depth. It
Yeah.
looks very beautiful from our perspective, probably, but when you go into these deeper pockets of the world, you'll see painfully how painful it is to be a woman in these areas. So I hope people understand that more. Yeah. And coming back to what you said, the kind of phrases that I used in my TED talk. My TED talk was basically uh, the topic of my TED talk was it, it, it talked about being a disruptor.
Mm-hmm.
How as a woman, I have disrupted the whole scheme of my society. So, of course, as an Indian bahu or as an Indian daughter-in-law, it was my duty. It is my duty to be uh, a devoted wife, coming home, cooking food for my husband, um, praying 2 times a day, maybe having kids by now. It's 7th year of my marriage, and we don't have kids yet. So by now, I should have had 2 kids at least.
Mm-hmm.
I should be very devoted to my parents-in-law. My in-laws' house should be my first home, and I should kind of stop thinking about my parents at this point. And my husband should be my everything. My whole world should revolve around my husband, my family, and my, kids. But I, on the other hand, chose a line that was completely different to what a regular uh, daughter-in-law would be. So that kind of sparked a lot of controversy when it came to um, families in close network with us, and they would think that, what is this girl doing? I still remember there was a guy, a close relative of a so he was husband to a very close friend, and he's like, oh, now she's going to be wearing bikinis and swimsuits on social media, and I don't know how her husband's going to take it, how her parents and in-laws are going to take it. And like, that's not all I do. I do other things as well.
Of
So
course.
it's so yes, for an Indian society, it is difficult to see married women to be living a life that they chose for themselves. But again, that is what feminism is, right? It is
Yeah.
not about wearing deep necks and uh, you know wearing swimsuits on social media. It is about having a choice to do whatever we want, keeping this thing in mind that we do have a family. I mean, I'm very respectful for my in laws, for my family, for my parents, for my husband. Wherever I go with him, whenever it is, since he's in the military, so whenever I go out with him, I go out as his wife, as Lieutenant Commander Aditya Manohar Sharma's wife. I wear a sari. I am all I'm just this traditional woman that I am. And when I have to do my job, I have to do my job. That's it. So I think that's what people should kind of start understanding more about women.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spoke a lot.
Thank you so much. And you know me from other domains. So, I also love chatting so much. But now I'm teaching myself to be very loving, kind of attentive listener. So I could like to put my nose so many times. But yes, of course, I'm agree on so many topics with you that yet it's quite ironically, or it's nonsense or absurd. Why is it so that we are the most uh, amazing creatures. We are given the birth to kids. We actually produce these males and females and guys who still like patronizing the world, but ironically we still don't fit in, and we still should bear like the greatest punishment, like you said, that now in Afghanistan and on in other countries, right? Like even more and more stricted. It's like really not just in my head. These girls, they don't have life, they have punishment all the
Yeah,
time. They're punished
exactly.
for something, but it's
Yes,
we who should be really holy, because we are mothers. We are your mother. You're coming from us. How you can really have the wish to punish your mother, to bring even more pain to your sister, to your best friend, to your mother? For me, it's still, I don't understand. Is it really so bad if we have, just like you said, feminism? It's about choice, and it's actually about freedom to have diversity, which is our subject today, to have diversity of thoughts and minds. That's why we are so beautiful to each other. That's why look at the biodiversity, right?
exactly,
It's
exactly.
healthy for ecosystem because it's
If
biodiversity,
everybody was the same, we would be robots.
right? And in biodiversity, we know we should take care, because otherwise it's unhealthy for system, and it can of course cause a lot of pain consequences to us people. But why we don't care at the same way about people? That of course we should be diverse, we should challenge each other. I don't mean compete. I mean like really to be assets to each other, right? That's how we grow together, we develop spiritually, and we can achieve so much more together, not by not competing. And
The problem is that women have always been seen, women are not seen as a human being, let's be
mm,
honest. Women are always seen as a womb, or as,
producing machine.
yeah, as an object. As an object, we are seen for our sex. That's what we are seen for. We're
Mhm.
not seen as human beings. And once I think people start doing that, cerebrally we are equal to every other man in this world, because we have a brain as much as you do. We have a heart which feels pain as much as you do. So why would you do that to us? And
We, even much more now, everybody's studying neuroscience, and oh my god, because we should be really from the era like multitasking and taking about children and family, and to do a lot of tasks. So actually our cognitive capacity is even completely wide differently, and we
yeah,
actually can even handle pain on the much more level, because I
exactly.
believe like some scientists, they're just joking. If one guy could once experience to give a birth, and they after they show that they're with the weak part of society, no way. Or if a girl or a mother would be try to take her baby away, oh my god, all the fears, all this power and strength which she
Yeah,
can show, I can just imagine if somebody would like to come and hurt my baby,
yeah.
and then I'm a weak female. No way, just wait what kind of warriors we can be. But okay, this subject is very, yes, and I know that we could sit and chat, like,
Forever.
yes, and me and joke and chat much time. And I'm so happy also to know that you all also can put your professional career, because you're a teacher, and I'm still believe that the greatest power of all, it's not weapon, it's not, unfortunately sometimes really need to use like strength and power, but it's still education. It's
Yeah,
right, we should focus much more that education is really powerful tool for empowerment. And you're
yeah.
brilliantly showing the what before you might not through your job, and now we all knows that it's there. We should really focus our efforts, and social media, from one side we can be very very grateful that now it's easier for many, even girls probably without social media internet would never ever had the admittance to find out actually how the rest of the world function. But still we
Yeah.
should be very very afraid of social media, we also know that. But through education It's how we can empower and give the more information about women's rights and opportunities and enabling them to make informed decisions, right? And to contribute more meaningfully in society.
Absolutely.
So I would like to take us to a little bit another type of diversity, because we have been talking now about diversity of thoughts and minds and gender equality, which is so important, especially for some countries where girls and women really like minority, and they look at them like really, like you said, it's just machine producing machine, not like, because it's still like, wow, beauty and brain, it's kind of that it should not be possible in the nature. Look at the nature, look at the panther, look at all the beautiful animals. They're gorgeously beautiful and they're so smart. So what should be so
Exactly.
about
Why
that?
is it so difficult for people to grasp that, a woman who's beautiful can have a brain too? We
Yes,
can
right.
have brains. We have such a big forehead. Of course, there's something inside it.
Yeah, so now I would like to take us to another type of diversity, which is quite emergent type of diversity. Now it's still new and it's still not like really official definition. It's just now we try to confirm from very negative medical language people with diagnosis or disabilities or weaknesses or handicapped people. But thanks God, now more and more people, they are obtaining wider lens to use another vocabulary, because we people, okay, we know about biodiversity and animals, they have own language but they don't speak. We can speak, and it's very powerful tool. It's also tool for education, right? But to change the narrative, it should start from raising awareness. Like, so I would like to talk about neurodiversity, which actually I discovered not many months ago myself, and I didn't know actually whether I should be transparent or not, because I'm neurodivergent as well. Or before, I believed it was just my I don't know, deficit, and it was like, because I have OCD, and it's not my choice to have it. It's not my fault. It's not my like I should be ashamed of, but I've been current at 14 years now. It's disorder, but now I really happy that many people, they're coming out. It's like in America they can coming out, right, with a different type of diversity. But it's also so powerful, helpful tool for me. It became for 2 months ago when I was not in the best maybe health condition, that I started gathering information, and then suddenly I discovered this term neurodiversity. And then when I understood that no, it's actually not deficit, it's not disability, it's just our brain, exactly like our other different faces and fingertips, it's just differently wired. All cognitives cells and everything, they just process information differently. They just memory works a little bit differently, but it's not to be ashamed of. And I start like digging more and more, and this podcast idea came to me. What if we start looking at these people, and me inclusive, not like just somebody or awkward there. But yes, we have challenges. Like everybody has some issues, all of us, right? But it doesn't mean that neurotypical people are better than us. It should not be like that. But people with neurodivergence, unfortunately, 70%, for example, of people with autistic spectrum, they are in unemployment. And because of that, it's 300% more depression and 400% more suicidal. And this is huge problem. And even people which are, I mean, youth people, it's because of stress and political situation in our country now, and the really pandemic of our world now is stress level. So young people are suffering also from a lot of neurodivergence, and they don't know how really to take this world, what to do with all that. And I mean, like you, like me, we should also disruptors, I believe, in this.
Yes.
So now, as you see, it's my high topic. So now I can
Yeah.
Now
Yes, of course.
I'm sleeping.
It is a very important topic.
Yes, I want because you're so powerful, and I know people are listening to you, and it's just the beginning. You are so young, and you will be leveraging your platform so many years in front. So I would like, of course, then to take this topic also with you, that me and you will be still, of course, advocating for human rights and gender equality. But now my great passion also to turn point that actually it's also neurodivergent people. So also we need to change narrative about them, about me. And you are the great person that they can help, really can help us. So now your mic.
I always, when we were growing up, when we okay, I'll talk about myself. So there's one side of my family which is like, they love me a lot, and they've just pampered me too much or whatever, protected me. But when it came to academics, when it came to studies, my parents were very strict when it came to my education.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that my dad always used to say, and I never really understood why he would say that, was, and this was, I think this was the case with every single parent, that whenever we used to go to these PTIs in school, our teacher would say, "Oh, she's so active in class. She talks so much. She's so good in extracurricular activities. But why her marks are so low in mathematics, or why is she not so good in why is she not getting good grades in science?" And then my dad would say, "Yeah, why can't you get good grades? Because it's not like your classmate has a better brain than you do. Everybody has uh, equal mental capacity. We all come with
The
equal brain size.
same
Yeah,
opportunity.
same brains." And I said, how is it possible that there are tall girls in class, and then are short girls in class, and then there are fat girls in class, and thin girls in class, and there are dark girls in class, and then there are fair girls in class? How come our brains are all the same? Why did God make our brains same and everything else so different? So then I realized that no, dad, that's not the case. You think that you want to make me a doctor, and my dad really wanted me to become a doctor, and he tried. I tried, and we all tried, and I still failed. Because
And we
that
are so
is,
happy the world that you have failed with this. Otherwise,
yeah.
we didn't have Mrs. World, Sargam Koushal.
So I still tell my dad that, dad, maybe, it wasn't meant for me, because I might not be as smart in science or chemistry or other subjects as the other girls who are actually good doctors now are. So he used to say, no, 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 you just don't want to, you're just lazy, you don't want to study, that's all.
Mm.
So now, with the whole topic of neurodivergence, that now people have started understanding, now people have started going to therapists, now people have started taking these exams and going to their doctors and their psychologists. And earlier, people used, exactly, when we used to ever talk about a woman who's too angry, people would think, oh, she's mad. But no, she's not mad. Maybe she's bipolar. Maybe she has a mental condition which needs to be addressed. Maybe that's how her brain is wired.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my mother used to clean a lot. So, still, my mother loves to clean. And it's not just love for cleaning, she's just fanatic about cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad doesn't like it very much. But I somehow feel that maybe, that keeping things in order and too much in order is her, maybe her brain is wired that way. And these are just very small examples of how we generally are, because I think everybody has a little bit OCD in them. But when it comes to the real condition, when it comes to people like you, it becomes a problem. I have friends who have this habit of turning the switch on and off at least 13 times, and it has to be 13 times.
Mm-hmm.
Only then they can leave their house. So, and many other things like that, with being obsessive compulsive about things. And not just OCD, even children, people, like even adults in the autism spectrum. I was just taking this test, an autism test, with my husband, and I realized that he's somewhere near to that spectrum because he's too fidgety and he has these little habits which are very close to the people who actually have autism in them. And earlier I used to think, and I used to get irritated by his habits. And I used to tell him to stop them and stop it, don't do it, don't fidget too much, don't do this, don't do that. But then I realized that it's his brain. That's how he calms down. That's how his brain is wired, and I cannot do anything about it. No medicine can do anything about it. It's just how he is going to function for the rest of his life. And I need to make some changes around my life. I have to be more patient. I have to be more calm because I am that person who can be more calm. So I think that is just the smallest example I can give you, because if this is how we try to deal with neurodivergence, with more love, with more patience, with a calm mindset, I think it will be easier. There will be less suicides. There will be less people who think they deserve to be put into a mental asylum. There will be lesser people who will be struggling so much in life. And at the end of the day, what do they need? They need a little bit more understanding. They need a little bit more love. And is it so hard to give love, or is it so hard to just sit down and understand and hold somebody's hand and just be like, okay, I'm there for you. It's the least you can do for someone. But again, if you, as I said, if you're coming from love, only then you can give that love. So I think nowadays parents are becoming more educated when it comes to the topic of neurodivergence. Parents are understanding the the struggles that their kids go through in school much more than our parents used to. Uh, when I became a teacher, when I was a student, our teachers used to, as I said, in India, it is just very easy to kind of beat the child, and with a stick in the hand. The teacher would always be the strict, very very strict teacher. These days, when I became a teacher, the first lesson that I got from my headmistress was that you are never going to raise your hand on any kid in class. You're never going to raise your voice to uh, to scare a child. You have to treat them with love. You have to treat them with respect, and you have to find a way to solve problems rather than just scaring the kid. And I think I learned a lot while teaching. I had to I used to lose my patience at times, but then again, they're just kids. And then now, so I left teaching, I think 3 years ago, but now when I look at teachers, now when I look at friends whose kids go to school, I've realized that a lot of things have changed. Teachers have actually become calmer. They are taught, while their teacher training is going on, they are taught these aspects of neurodivergence. They are taught these aspects of how to deal with kids with special needs. I was also one of those teachers who I had a class. I kind of went to a course. I took a course up where special education was a topic that I learned, and it kind of helped me a lot to deal with kids with neurodivergence, because sometimes parents are not able to diagnose it, and it is the teacher who kind of tells the parents that your child might be, for example, autistic, or your child might have this condition, so you need to really start focusing on how to bring this child up. There's a very beautiful movie in India. It's called Tare Zameen Par. It is about a child who's dyslexic, and his parents don't know. They just think that he's being a brat and he doesn't want to study. But that kid, when he looks at an equation on the paper, all the letters start, they start swimming on the paper in his brain. So then he finds a teacher who helps him through that whole journey of dyslexia. He teaches him in a certain way. He gives him more time. He helps him touch things and touch objects and understand words by touching them. And then this kid turns out to be, a very different yet a good member of the society. And I think we need more teachers like that. I feel it is at that level that we need to work. Professors can work later, but first, your grad school teachers need to work on you, your parents need to work on you, and you really need support of therapists. I really, really feel it is high time for people to stop um, feeling that if you are going to therapy, you have some mental issue. No, people should go to therapy. I think normal, regular people should go to therapy. It is very important for them. People who retire from their jobs must go to therapy before coming back home. People who are veterans should go to therapy. People who go to war prone areas, when they come back to their country, they should go to therapy. Therapy is very important, and I cannot lay more stress. I think I tell my dad always, because he is retired now, so I tell him that you've retired from your job. I think you should go to a therapist to understand how to get back into
Mhm.
family life again, because he's lived away from family for so long. It is difficult for him to kind of be a part of family again. So there are many disagreements that happen. And this happens with the neurodivergents also, that there are many disagreements because the parents keep thinking, why couldn't we get a normal child? Why couldn't why can't you be more calm? Why can't you be more extrovert? Why can't you do this? Why can't you do that? But dad, my brain is not functioning that way.
Yeah.
So,
I've heard so
yeah.
many that can you not just take it, put yourself together? I said, yes, I'm doing that, but I have totally different rule book in my head how I should proceed that and like you said, it's sometimes it's not about what you wish or what you wish. It's just you can't, because
Yeah, we all wish we were,
how you can run the marathon if you would probably have, I don't know, one leg or something. Sometimes my mind is completely attacking me or different, or other days it's actually giving me the more talents to create something more, probably because of
yes.
that, not
Yes,
despite.
and we've seen how creative you are when you're creative. I've seen the creative side of you as well, and I've also, I also have a friend who's, if not exactly like you, but more or less like you, and I've seen her in her bad times, when her OCD kicks in, or when her um, when her that part of her brain kicks in which she just wants to hide away. And I've
Yeah.
seen her in those times, and I've seen her creative energy also, and I've seen her in the best times being an extrovert, and then I've seen her in times where she just wants to shut herself
Mm.
from the world, and she's this angry and always yelling. But then, again, it all boils down to the fact that a little more love wouldn't hurt anybody. So a little more understanding, and the fact that we're all different,
And
uh,
when,
at the cellular level. At the cellular level, we all are different. So we all need to be treated differently. Um, there is no rule book for a
no,
human
no,
being.
luckily, sometimes yes, because it's also like you said, many parents even don't know, because there is some definition like the lost generation of autism, because until 2016 it was not official presented that actually girl they present and display autism completely differently, because
Yes.
everybody believe that autism it's either Rain Man or Forrest Gump, or the guy who's sitting cannot talk at all, and you have no contact with this person. So everybody believes this is autism, but autism it's spectrum, like OCD
Yes,
as
it
well.
is.
But girls, they are actually presenting completely different. So, so can you imagine how many people uh, have been like provided the wrong rule book because they even was not identified, because identification follows the education and therapy, and then social service at school
Yeah.
with job connections and friends and everything, right? So of course now we need just to take more and more speak about openly, said, oh my god, look, maybe you just you're just a little bit different. It's cool. You're not like me, but you are totally equal because every single person is a resource. Look at Elon Musk. He is on autistic spectrum. Come on. And somebody said he's just disabled person. Einstein, Bill Gates.
No, because exactly earlier when we used to talk about autism, we used to look at, when somebody would say this kid is autistic, we would actually look at a child. We were shown a child who was actually physically or mentally disabled. Like he was far off the spectrum. He was really uh, the worst possible case of autism. But now, when we're talking to more, when we see more kids and when we're interacting with more parents, we get to know that, yes, I never knew until a few years ago that autism is a spectrum. So then I realized later by studying and understanding. And I think, as I said, it is at a very grassroots level, we need to work at this. Schools basically need to have, I think in Norway and many schools in India, of course, the good schools in India, where the fees is too high for a poor kid to go. There, of course, you have counselors, you have in school therapists who kind of help parents out in understanding if the child is in the spectrum or if the child is neurodivergent in any way. But in India, the schools most of the schools are government schools, and government schools in India are very different from the government schools in the public schools in the West. We hardly have any basic, even the children actually sit on the floor and study. They're not provided good uniform. They don't even have uniforms. They don't have bags. They don't have meals. So, and they're living in these, the worst pockets or the remotest pockets of the country. And where they are coming from, therapy or counseling, these are alien topics. So what is the government doing for these people? Of course, nothing, because this topic is probably far down in the list of
luxury problem.
Yes, it is a luxurious problem, if we can say that. So so then these kids undergo all the kind of harassment that they can in school. So that's the tough part.
But anyway, I'm so happy that we already at this stage, you and me, we are talking. And if you can change the destiny of one person in the world, you can change the whole humanity, right? So it's so important to know that you and me and every single voice matter, really matter. And I do believe that leveraging your platform with Mrs. Roll, collaborations with organizations dedicated to human rights, health and equality, participate in awareness campaigns, mentoring people to pursue their dreams, all that is already so powerful impact you've been doing. And I'm still sure it's just the beginning. So before we wrapping up, baby, I want to ask you, okay, I try always, because my pre-last questions neurodiverse, and it's of course a little bit painful topic, but still we have a lot of hope already, and we raise even more hope every single time we are talking. But I am still like a child inside, and I believe still we need really also believe in magic and in destiny and in faith, right? So we do a lot of ourselves, of course, like this, because your dreams don't work until you don't work, but we need all a little bit magic, this magic powder, right? So and I love fairy tales, and I used to ask everybody in the end, the Aladdin story, right? And the magic lamp, genie, who he was so cool with these wishes, that just 3 wishes, and yes, and still it's a man, right? It's not a girl. But now we changed this domain. Now me. It's our turn. It's our time in this life. So you and me, right? We can grant the wishes. And today my turn. Maybe next time you can grant my wish, but it's just a twist. We still learning. So if it's just one wish, you could wish from me as your Jen from the lamp. What would be this wish for Sargam? It can be small, private, personal, big, global. It doesn't matter, but just one wish.
What I want from you as my genie?
Yes.
Oh, I this is a wow. I
It can
never
be
thought
joke
about
as
it.
well. I know you want me to come to you. Okay, I know that. But in
So
addition,
basically, if I have to ask for anything, I remember the last time when Nicole wanted me to come to her that ceremony that happened in Norway, and I couldn't make it because, of course, I couldn't travel and I couldn't be her godmother as she wanted
thank you.
me to be. You remember? Yes. So, but I, oh God, it's such a different question. I never thought of it. But yes, of course, the only thing that I would want is for you to meet me, of course. Because it's been 2 years, and I really want to meet Nicole. I want to meet you. I want to meet your dog, Chanel, right?
Yes.
Yes, I want to meet you all. In fact, I feel that with you, I've felt so much warmth from day one at Mrs. World competition that I could not have asked for a better line mate. Uh, I could not have asked for a better older sister. And the fact that even today, after 2 years, you and I sit here and we can just talk about our time, and we can just talk such personal stuff with each other, even off this podcast. The love that I feel for your daughters. Um, I really wanted to be that when you said when you asked me to become Nicole's godmother. I remember I was talking to my husband about it, though we had these government issues that we couldn't do that. But I almost cried. I cried in front of him and I told him that this woman doesn't even know me that much. This little girl, she doesn't know me personally. She's never met me, and still she wants me to be her godmother. I mean, it's crazy. But I can understand now that connection works this way. You meet somebody for the first time, and there are just lightning strikes, and it's just magic, as you said.
Pure
And
bliss and pure love. Yes.
and you were coming from so much love. I probably was coming with so much love that there was never the competitive spirit between us. It was just we were just two girls having a lot of fun with that little bird in your head, and we were just
Yes.
having so much fun. So my only wish from you is either you come meet me soon or I'll come meet you soon. And the other wish, which is more important for me, I think more than even meeting you, I think the most important wish would be a wish for you to be the happiest that you can be. I
Oh.
want you to do the best you can professionally, personally. I hope all the health for your family, your husband, your kids, and you. And just the fact that every day that you wake up is a better day than the last day. So that's my wish for you.
Thank you. Now you make me cry, and it's true. Oh my God! Now I am sitting in my glasses. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so happy. Really, I really feel every day that God, He loves me, and I believe that He's sending me His best angels. And like you said, immediately, you don't need much time when you have the special pure bliss and love. You feel like that, and then like the very single day. So like I said, no, not completed. Of course not. We already so happy to have this opportunity, which many
Exactly. We were
girls
just happy to
never
be
can
there.
dream of, right? So we
Yeah.
already the best time of our lives. So how we can actually put one single second to damage it to be grumpy or
I used to look for you when you wouldn't be in the rehearsal room. You were the only person I used to look for, like, where is Valeria?
where is
And
Norway? Where is Norway? You remember Norway again?
and
We need to do it again.
all my you and even Olivia, Mrs. Switzerland, we were just like this one big happy family. And even today, when I talk to her, so this is the best part of being in a pageant like Mrs. World,
Yeah.
because it brought me closer to so many different type of women from such different parts of the world. Today I can actually say that if I come to Norway, I have a home there, and I don't even
Yeah.
have to ask. I just have to call you and say, I'm in Norway, come pick me up, and I
Yeah.
know you will be
Absolutely.
ready to do that. I talked to Elysia. She had some issues with her mother's medication, and I had to send those. I kind of sent those medications for her from India, and she was so thankful, so grateful. She said, "Whenever you come to Zurich, you have a home there." And I said, "Yes, I do now." So
Yes,
like
yeah. I
that.
believe you have all around the world. Oh my God, like me.
Exactly. So it's like I can go around the world and find a home in every single country, in every single place, and that's what this pageant has given us. It has given us a home away from home. It has given us friendships that would last a lifetime. It has helped us meet women across borders with different mindsets, but still so, still one single goal, one singular goal of uh, becoming better and making the society better just by being who we are and just by preaching this whole love yourself attitude. And that's all. And I think it's the most beautiful thing that this competition could have done for us. I'm so glad that I met you guys.
So happy
Especially.
and so blessed. Thank you, dear. I really don't want to leave this chat. I'm
Yeah,
so
I don't.
touched now, but we should do it more often and not just now. That's for sure. I will come. Of course, you're welcome to me, and you. I'm coming to you, and I would like to heartfully thank our audience and. Thank you so much for staying with us still.
For bearing with us.
Yes, because we sit in here and talking each other how much we love each other. But I really believe audience they always sense the true feelings, and people want to have more stories like that because they believe that women, especially beautiful and with brain and beauty like you and me, that we just should be like snakes, like fighting. Nobody believes that sisterhood exists, but it really is. It exists. Look at us. We just really champion for each other, empower. I am so happy when you achieve all this accomplishment. I'm so proud. Oh my God, like you are my real sister, and I always look myself, my little bit part of me in you, in every your victory. It's true, it exists. We need to spread more stories about that because guys don't believe in females friendship, but then maybe if it's not real, then it's not friendship. But the real friendship, it exists, and it's actually to be able to be happy for a person, not just to help when you have bad times. Everybody love hearing that you have bad times, but when you have really good times, or not to lose friends that are not envy you. This is the case. This I have lost so many people. But it's another subject. We will be back, right? So now I would like to wrap. Thank you so much for beautiful wishes, which actually somehow came back to me. So thank you, my beautiful audience, for joining us today of the very great female lady premiere with Heidi there in back. And yes, and Sargam Koushal. And stay tuned for more conversation that inspire and empower. And at the end, speaking about gender diversity, I want to tell every woman in our audience that your dreams are valid and you have the strength to achieve them. Don't let societal expectation limit your potential. Believe in yourself, seek support, and take bold steps towards your aspirations. Stay tuned. Bless you. Thank you, my love. I'm wrapping now, and I put in the record off, but you still here, okay? Just 1 second.